How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we're going to talk about something that we have spoke about a couple of times already this year, but, you know, some suspicious things are happening. And the thing that we're going to talk about is the Final Fantasy IX Remake, because, you know, it's definitely coming, and a lot of things that are FF9 related have started going on in the last few weeks, so I feel like we need to talk about this. And I think what we'll do is we'll go over everything just really briefly from day one of this whole rumour of an FF9 remake starting to where we are today. Don't forget, drop a like on the video, subscribe for future content, helps the channel grow. We hit 250,000 views on the channel the other day, so, you know, we're a quarter of the way to the million. But yeah, don't forget, like and sub, but let's jump into it. So this whole saga began in 2021. When there was a NVIDIA GeForce Now database leak. And there was lots of things in there, there was many things in there. You had the Chrono Cross remaster that was in there, we've got that. You had FF7 Remake coming to PC, we got that. You've got the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, we got that. We had a new strategy game which was unannounced at the time but ended up being the Dio Field Chronicle, fun game, check it out. Tactics Ogre Remaster was on the list, we got that. There was a Tomb Raider 25th anniversary thing which ended up being a 25th anniversary trilogy if I remember correctly. So there's that. And then there's the unannounced card game which ended up being Voice of the Cards. So all of those things happened, but there was two more things on the list. One of them is Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, which please do that, and do it the same as you did the Tactics Ogre Remaster. I get the feeling that that's probably going to be the way it goes if we do get a Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, because Tactics Ogre was brilliant. Tactics Ogre Reborn was phenomenal. So I'm really looking forwards to a Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster if it's done in a similar style. It'll be very good, trust me. But the other thing that was on that list was a Final Fantasy IX Remake. And that was the first real rumbling of it, to my memory at the very least. It wasn't even... I mean, obviously everyone was talking about what games they'd want remade, because Final Fantasy VII Remake had, you know, dropped, and everyone was like, oh my god, what else could we get remade? So there was speculation, at the very least, but there was nothing like this. So this was the first rumbling. But then things kind of went quiet. You know, we had the FF16 hype train, we had the constantly ongoing Final Fantasy VII Remake hype train, which then became the Rebirth hype train, so that's been going. There's been a lot of stuff going on. And talk of a Final Fantasy IX Remake just fell into the background. Until this year. So it started at the beginning of this year, or end of last year, and you had the New Year statement from Yoshinori Kitase, which is something that got me very suspicious. As soon as this statement came out, I was like, oh, so we're getting the 9 remake this year. That was my initial thought. We covered it back then. The statement basically wrapped up with the paragraph. There's also another big announcement unrelated to FF7 that I can't say anything about just yet. Rest assured, we're working hard to make sure 2023 is the most exciting year yet. So yeah, that was the alarm bells immediately ringing for me, like, oh, 9 remake, excellent. I was pretty convinced about it. And as the year's gone on, I've pretty much predicted at every major event that we're probably going to get the 9 remake. If we don't get a 9 remake, I'm going to be quite embarrassed, because I'm convinced it's coming. I've not heard anything, do you know what I mean, beyond all of this stuff that we've seen, but all year I have been, like, adamant, like, yo, this Final Fantasy IX remake, it's coming. And every event that comes along, I'm like, oh, we might hear about that 9 remake. And then we haven't. But what we have heard is a few rumblings. Nothing official or anything like that. But we've definitely heard some rumblings. And the rumbling that we've heard that probably made the biggest impact came, it was around summertime, I think, when Jeff Grubb basically claimed that the Final Fantasy IX remake being mentioned in the NVIDIA leak was not a mistake. And that they had heard very recently that it's real and it's happening. That's what we heard then, at the time. They said it on a podcast, it was the Game Mess Mornings, if I'm reading this information correctly. If I can read, which you'd think could be a prerequisite, but you never know. But yeah, basically they said, the game's coming, it's not going to be an ambitious remake like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know, where it's kind of changing things and creating a new narrative on top of the old narrative. This is very much going to be a straight up kind of, it's going to stick to the story. We don't know how much they're going to change. We don't know if combat's going to change. We don't know any of these things. But we've had a lot of accounts on Twitter that have just been posting spurious claims about this and making assumptions and guessing things. So it's been a little bit difficult to keep the truth, you know, filter out the truth, or as true can be in the land of rumours. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's been difficult to try and keep on top of it. But yeah, lots of speculation. Lots and lots of speculation. And I'll be honest, as the year's gone on and each event has come and gone and we've not heard anything about an FF9 remake, I've become more doubtful. But we do have one more big event coming. And for the last few months, I've kind of thrown all of my eggs in the basket since Tokyo Game Show. Like, since then. Because I fully expected it to pop up at Tokyo Game Show, but it didn't. So, I've thrown everything into the Game Awards, which is coming in December, early December. We've got the Game Awards. That has to be it. I'm already expecting us to get a Rebirth trailer there, though. I feel like the Game Awards is a big shout for the next Rebirth trailer, because I think it's the only big event that's happening now between now and Rebirth. I don't think there's any massive gaming events that they could reveal a trailer. So I think they'll probably take advantage of dropping one at the Game Awards. All of the gaming industry's eyes are going to be looking at it. And it feels like that'd be a prime opportunity to, you know, drop the next Rebirth trailer, as I've said. So my mind's been thinking about that with FF9 as like a little bit of a background thought. You know, it's still there. It's obviously something that's been discussed or rumoured or something. But yeah, maybe not. But then, things happened. So first off, we got an announcement that there was going to be a Final Fantasy IX collaboration with Brave Exvius, which is one of the other mobile games that Square Enix have got out there, and that's going to involve Zidane, Dagger, and Vivi. It's a bit weird, isn't it? A month before the Game Awards, a month before they could maybe announce Final Fantasy IX Remake, we get a little collaboration with a mobile game. Okay, that's interesting. It could be nothing though. You know, it could be nothing. It could just be a coincidence, right? It could be nothing until they announced that there was going to be a Final Fantasy IX event in Ever Crisis. And I feel like this could be enough for me to get excited. Like, I genuinely feel like this could be enough for me to get excited. A Final Fantasy IX remake would be wonderful. Final Fantasy IX doesn't run very well in my opinion. It's not a massively... Oh, I'm probably going to get myself a lot of hate here. Right, I love the characters, I love the story, but the game ain't the best. I'm just putting that out there. The characters and the story are amazing, but the game runs like shit. So, and Tetramaster's so bad. So bad. So, if we can get a remake that A, makes the game run better, and B, fixes Tetramaster somehow, just get rid of the ranges. But yeah, anyway, just fixes Tetramaster, that'd be amazing. And it's been speculated, and we've had a leak about it, and then it went quiet, and we're just hoping and hoping and hoping, and then Kataze comes out and he's like, oh yeah, something else is coming this year, and it's like, oh really? And we start hoping again, and then it goes quiet again. And one other thing that's been a little bit sus as well has been the increased involvement of Hironobu Sakaguchi around Square Enix properties and Final Fantasy in general recently. And, I mean, obviously, you know, he's remained friendly with everybody. He went off to do his own thing. But FF9's kind of his love letter to the franchise a little bit, and the fact that he's started popping up a lot more alongside Final Fantasy and Square Enix, yeah, it's just another thing that adds a little bit of weight, in my opinion. And now we get 2 FF9 collaborations in mobile games, active mobile games, one of them a brand new mobile game as well. There's obviously something going on with Final Fantasy IX, and given the fact that all we've got to go off is the fact that there's a rumoured remake in the works, that's all we can think, really. So, is this it? Is this Final Fantasy IX Remake time? Are we on the brink of having Final Fantasy IX Remake announced? Is it going to happen at the Game Awards? Maybe. Is it going to happen at something else? Are they just going to shadow drop it on Twitter like the absolute legends they are? Who knows? But genuinely, I feel like things are starting to stack up. Things are definitely starting to stack up. Like, at first it was, okay, there's a leak. Then it was, okay, Kataze is saying stuff. Then it was, okay, this Jeff Grubb guy saying stuff. And now it's, oh, they're releasing Final Fantasy IX stuff. Like, it's all starting to stack up. It's all stacking up for me. genuinely feel like this is it. But anyway, I've rambled enough about this. I've gone over all the evidence that we've got so far. Evidence. It's all very tenuous, I admit. But I've gone over everything that we've got so far. I don't think I've missed anything, at least nothing concrete. Like I say, there's been a lot of people just saying things. Just saying things, and I'm not buying into that. But everything that we've got so far genuinely does point to the fact that there is an FF9 remake in the pipeline, and that we're probably going to get an announcement very soon. They said the announcement was coming this year. There's not much of this year left. So, yeah. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Do you think we're finally going to get an FF9 remake? Are you excited for an FF9 remake? Do you hate me for saying that FF9 runs like shit? I don't know. I don't know. It just does. It just does. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a PAL thing. Maybe it runs different in America. I don't know. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe for future content, get excited about the Final Fantasy IX remake. But more importantly than all of that, have a great day.